Good morning, everyone. My name is Sandra Vidrio, and on behalf of the Fresno Area Hispanic Foundation, we would like to say thank you for joining us for today's virtual Negociantes Unidos meeting. Before getting started, I would like to share with you a quick tutorial on using the Zoom tools that appear on your screen. To submit a question or comments during the presentation, during the webinar, please select the chat icon that appears on your screen if you're using a computer. And if you're accessing through a mobile device or tablet, you will need to select the option More and then the chat feature. I also want to share that our presentation for today is going to have a live interpretation. Estoy contenta de anunciar que nuestro seminario web de hoy tiene la opción de traducción en vivo desde su aparato de móvil o de computadora. Y es traducción de inglés a español. Y para acceder a esta herramienta, por favor de seleccionar la opción de Interpretation o More en su pantalla y después hacer clic en la opción de Language Interpretation para poder traducir el audio a español. I would now like to welcome our President and CEO, Dora Westerland, to introduce our speaker.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. First, I like to start with a little bit of a reflection and for today, before we get going, I like to pray and reflect on our unity and of our nation. So I'll ask, dear God, we pray for our protection as one nation under God. We ask that you surround this country and cover us with your mighty hand. We pray for unity in our land, that in spite of our differences, we would be willing to stand strong together and live our days with compassion and grace. So thank you very much, everyone. Welcome to our Negociantes Unidos. We have a great keynote speaker. We're so honored to have Leticia Corona. So to start, I would like to thank our sponsors. They are the ones that help us out and continue our programs and services. So I'd like to thank Bank of America, Comcast, Bank of the West, Donegy, Wells Fargo, Chevron, Tri-Counties, JP Morgan Chase, Union Bank, and Bank of San Francisco. So thank you so much for all of you for sponsoring our programs and services. And you know, a little bit on what we have been up to. I know that maybe some of you already know that we are handling the Save Our Small Businesses grant program of the city of Fresno, which we had $2 million to providing grants for small businesses. And we are as well handling a $250,000 as well a small businesses grant program for Fresno County. So we're very excited to be doing both of those things. We have come to our offices back again, of course, you know, staying safely as well. And but we are continuing to work with our small businesses more than ever. As you know, we continue to have our virtual assistants. We have workshops at least twice a week. We're having workshops in our webinars and including this breakfast meeting. We continue to provide our loans out there. More than ever, our small businesses are in the need of funding and access to financing and to help them with this time that they have been closed. So, but we are, I saw it in the news yesterday. I'm a little bit excited because I do believe those numbers of COVID are going down and we are starting to get into a safe zone where we are able to open some of more businesses. I do believe, starting in another stage. So I'm very excited about it. please contact us if you are in the need of assistance for our small businesses, or if you know someone who is in the need of assistance, please let them know, because we are here open 8 to 5 and sometimes longer since these days with these programs have been long days, but we are excited and we couldn't do it otherwise. We are here for our small businesses. So thank you so much for your help and all of what you do for us to continue working with small businesses. And to continue, we are here, and I'm so honored to introduce our keynote speaker, and Leticia Corona. And she is a resident of Selma who has recently so excited about this appointment. She was appointed to small business specialist in the office of the small business advocate at the governor's office of of business and economic development. Leticia has been Global Development and Population Fellow at the William and Flora Hewlett Foundation since 2017. She was a consultant at the American Civil Liberties Union of Northern California since 2017. Leticia was a director of community advocacy at the Leadership Council for Justice and Accountability from 2014 to 2016. And she is a board member of the University of California, Berkeley Chicano Latino Alumni Association and co-chair of San Joaquin Valley chapter. She is executive board vice president of the Community Assistance Foundation for Empowerment. Leticia earned a Master's of Arts degree in International Relations from the University of San Diego. Leticia as well received her bachelor's degree from University California, Berkeley, where she double majored in Chicano studies and social and cultural anthropology. She is a proud daughter of immigrant farm workers from Guanajuato, Mexico, and grew up in a small town near Fresno. I am honored and really excited to introduce to you our new lead for Central California, Leticia Corona from the governor's office. Thank you so much, Leticia, for joining us today.
Muchas gracias, Dora. Buenos dias, good morning, and thank you to the Fresno Area Hispanic Foundation's wonderful team for inviting me to speak at the Negociantes Unidos breakfast meeting. And thank you so much to the small businesses in the San Joaquin Valley who are joining us this morning. Muchas gracias for making the time. As mentioned, and gracias, Dora, I am Leticia Corona, a daughter of immigrant farm workers and granddaughter of Mexicano small and medium-sized farmers and ranchers and small business owners from Guanajuato, Mexico. I grew up in a small rural town in the Central Valley with a diverse community of small and medium-sized businesses, predominantly immigrant and Latino-owned. Therefore, it is an extreme privilege and honor to be back in the Central Valley after a couple of years being in the Silicon Valley. So I'm extremely happy to be here. As mentioned, I was appointed by Governor Newsom in July of this year, 2020, to serve as the first Central Valley Regional Lead Advisor. I'm actually based in Fresno, so we hope to eventually invite you all to our office in downtown. Until then, we're all working remotely from our homes. Lastly, I wanted to also share with you all that we are located within the larger office of Governor's Office of Business and Economic Development. For those who do not know, it's an office that I'll be describing and going into detail further. So please stay tuned for my presentation. We definitely are an office that are serving entrepreneurs and small businesses, not just here in the San Joaquin Valley, but across the state of California. We advocate for the clear paths for capital, marketplace, and networks. Most recently, we have been working on advancing preparedness, especially around the wildfires, ensuring small businesses are resilient in the face of disasters. During COVID-19, I'll just give you a little bit more of details and information of what we've been up to as well. The state of California has expanded recovery loan programs, supporting Main Street hiring credits, distributed free PPE to small businesses, and we thank the Hispanic Foundation for helping us distribute gel, and also as well free masks to small businesses, not just in rural areas, but also in urban throughout the 8 counties. So thank you so much for your support. And we work to ensure that entrepreneurs like you have a strongly support network of small businesses centers with expert advisors to help you start up, manage, grow, and also eventually start to export your products out internationally. We were fortunate to count with the support of local partners, as I mentioned, amongst them the Fresno area's Hispanic, so thank you so much. Before going broader, and I will be taking questions after my presentation, I'd like to give just a quick overview of the landscape of small businesses in the state of California. For those who do not know, California is home to 4.1 million small businesses, which represents 99.8% of all businesses in the state, and employs roughly 7.2 million workers in California. Approximately 50% of those are state's total workforce. So that's strong workforce right there. And many of you are contributing to that workforce. California also small businesses are driving our economic growth, even during this hard moments of COVID and natural disasters. They're still very much the backbone to our economy. They're creating 2/3 of our net new jobs and employing nearly half of all private sector employees in the state. That is tremendous. And I applaud you all for contributing to the economic drive and boosting of our state and our country, and internationally as well, as many of you are exporting or importing products. I will now go into little overview of our office, which I will refer to as CalOSBA, which stands for the Office of Small Business Advocate. As I mentioned, it's the principal advocate for small businesses and entrepreneurs. Definitely, we're taking a strong focus on small businesses, minority owned as well too. So that's very important and critical to our office, which I will reiterate throughout the presentation. Very much, we represent the views and interests across the state government, ensuring information, content, and direct support are available to them to better navigate state resources, programs, and regulations, and guidelines, which is critical during this moment, as there were many different periods in which businesses could open depending on the Department's public health guidelines. Supporting them, we also are very much in support to increase the resiliency to disaster, which is critical with the wildfires. We also work to ensure that small businesses and entrepreneurs can connect to the resources they need to start up, access capital, compete in the markets, and grow their businesses. And this is a huge, very much interest of our office and the governors, especially around innovation and really examining new markets and opportunities for industries, especially as we pivot and there's certain demographic shifts. It's important to also be competitive in our market and shift with our industries during the moments. In alignment with Governor Newsom's focus on building a California for all, CalOSBA is committed to creating inclusive entrepreneur and small businesses ecosystem to eliminate opportunity gaps across zip codes, race, and gender. We currently have 2 regional offices, which include the Northern and Central California offices, and we will soon have a Southern California office. So please stay tuned. I believe the announcement went out yesterday, so I'm excited about that new appointment. So hopefully we could have a new colleague to join us to lead our work in Southern California. And just to go a little bit deeper, I know I'm reviewing a lot, but I just wanted to give you all a kind of a overview and also go into details about some of our programs. They're very exciting and very much available for you all. To better connect resources and information and networks, what we're doing also is offering through our different centers and networks, trainings, consulting, and tools for small business and entrepreneurs, as I mentioned, to launch, grow, and scale, which is critical during these moments of COVID. We administer a state-supported network of small business centers, which there's some here in the San Joaquin Valley, and I believe there's some folks here representing the centers in this call, so thank you very much for joining. And definitely those California funds they're funded through, we fund 86 federally contracted small business centers that provide services in over 30 languages, and that's critical for us, and help California small businesses pivot, navigate new guidelines, access capital, including federal relief, and adapt to the new marketplace depending demands to survive COVID-19, which has been critical during this moment. We've been very much invested into that area of our work currently. And more importantly, we advocate at the state level, as I mentioned earlier. We're here to also listen, get your feedback, gather it, and making sure it gets to the right governing bodies. Also, we are preparing, as I mentioned, for disaster preparedness and economic recovery. So definitely we are working very closely with our colleagues across the state and different departments. And one of those departments is the California Office of Emergency Services, who's leading a lot of the work around economic recovery support. So many of you, as I mentioned earlier, have already received some sort of PPP support, and definitely there'll be more information about that, so please stay tuned. Additionally, we also wanted to make sure that we were listening more clearly on some of the updates that were happening around counties locally and states. So what we did as well too is that we launched the California Entrepreneur Task Force with GoBiz and Cal OSBA, which our director Isabel Guzman is part of that task force as well too. And that was actually created in 2019, so pre-COVID. And it was exactly to create that bridge between the state and the entrepreneurs and the small business community, and making sure that we were all in alignment, having communication, that there was clarity, and of course, making sure that the resources were actually reaching the smaller and medium-sized entrepreneurs across the state. Definitely the ETF has created 16 rapid response webinars each week. It would alternate between English and Spanish, and you could definitely listen now to those recordings, which I'll be sharing our website at the end of my presentation. And I really encourage folks to listen to them. They're also, as I mentioned, in Spanish for Spanish speakers. So please, once again, I encourage folks. It has really important content for different businesses as they're trying to also pivot e-commerce, which I'll go into another part of my presentation.
I'm sorry to interrupt, Leticia.
Yes.
This is Sandra. Do you currently have a PowerPoint presentation on your screen?
No, I don't.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I just wanted to confirm. I made you host in case you need to share your screen. Thank you.
No, I just have one presentation at the end where it'll show, as I mentioned in my email, it'll show the links as well. But
Okay.
Thank you for asking, Sandra. Yes, and one of our other presentations, or not presentations, I should say, one of our campaigns that we did launch was Shop Safe, Shop Local, which many of you probably did participate, and thank you so much. And basically that was an attempt for us to ensure that people were connecting with your small businesses. It was a statewide initiative, and it was in collaboration with many corporate partners. And definitely, if you did not participate, again, I'll be sharing the link to our website at the end of the presentation, where you're very much welcome to go and still be able to access some of the free resources online or discounted by our corporate partners. Lastly, one of our big campaigns that we literally just launched last week is Get Digital California, which is leveraging and technology. So it's helping these small businesses and entrepreneurs really better connect and pivot during these moments and times. I know many are starting to sell their products on different social media platforms. Instagram is a very popular one, and we want to make sure folks are well equipped to make that pivot. And with that said, we did launch Grow with Google, Crezca con Google, and we kicked it off actually last week on Tuesday, and we did one in Spanish as well too on Thursday. And actually we invite folks after this presentation to please join us today at 10 a.m. and it'll help you. It's co-hosted with Google. And so that'll help folks really, how do you set up a website? How do you navigate? Last week, it was about how do you put yourself on Google search? And again, these are all free resources as well too. And I'm nearing the end of my presentation. So I'll just quickly just go over the importance of really ensuring that our small businesses are able to access supply chains, and ensuring that, for example, we are serving them on different committees as such. And so we want to make sure that there's procurement trainings across the state, and that are, which many of our centers, and thank you so much to our centers for being able to provide the procurement trainings to small businesses. We also are providing information or helping our small businesses access capital, which once again, that's a lot through some of our federally funded centers. And then also just making sure they're well connected to affordable capital. And lastly, if Sandra, if you could put up the last slide, please, or the only slide in my presentation with links to information.
Of course. On your computer screen, you can actually click where it says share screen. I have made you host.
Okay, I'm so sorry. I actually don't have it up. Do you have it up in your screen by any chance?
Sorry, let me quickly go here.
I apologize about that. If not, I could quickly look for it. I send it to you. While Sandra's looking for that, I just also wanted to let you all know that our office is always here. As I mentioned, I did come on board in July. So definitely if I, for some reason, do not have the answer, I'll make sure to tap into my colleagues or the larger Cal OSBA office or GoBiz to ensure that you really do have access to the right information, more than anything, and well connected. And I just wanted to reiterate again the support that we're offering small businesses here, and we're really grateful for partnerships like this one. And definitely, thank you so much, Sandra. This is actually the link to our page. Do you happen to have the one for the slide?
Sorry, I'm trying to. Can the information be found within the website, and I can just navigate it through this website?
Yes, definitely. Yes, so this is our website. This was one of the links on the slide presentation. So yes, this is our website. Definitely, I encourage folks to visit our website. It has a lot of information. It's business.ca.gov/centers. And I said, as I mentioned earlier, it'll help you navigate. We actually were able to categorize our networks and resources by regions, which is a very exciting feature, which we didn't have before. And I wanted to also reiterate the importance that this page, although when you enter it, it is in English, on the right-hand side, you could definitely always navigate it and switch the language. So we have it available in Spanish. I don't know if how many Spanish speakers there is here with us today, but definitely, and I speak Spanish, so anytime I could do always this presentation in Spanish, and I know Reina is translating, so much. Thank you, Reina. But definitely this is our main webpage, which again, it was a huge lift on our end. We wanna make sure that we're more accessible, that there's more connection to you all, and that also our corporate partner and local partners are listed, since they also are providing free resources year round, and it just changes throughout the year. I also wanted to encourage folks to please follow us on Twitter and Facebook. Our handler is @California OSBA. And definitely folks are always welcome to, message us, send us an email as well too. And we'd be happy to get to you all. Please just be a little bit patient with COVID. We are taking a little bit longer to respond, but please do nudge us as well too. And there, you also will find more information on our website, on Shop Safe, Shop Local. As I mentioned, there's various resources. And for example, as I mentioned, there's discounted still commercial tools that people could access, even though our campaign has technically, we stopped launching it, the resources are still there available for you. And are really kind of bringing their family together to help them support in this, to help them navigate these difficult moments. So once again, that is another nudge to please visit us at any moment, and please reach out to us. And lastly, and while I look for my slide, because I really wanted to share it with you all, is that it's important to really follow the blueprint for a safe economy. I know that there's different guidelines depending on the state and the region put on by the Department of Public Health. So definitely, please just, follow those. What your city and county are also stating is very important, and it's very different across each state. I mean, I'm sorry, well, it is very different across each state, but across every county and city. So please do follow the blueprint for a safer economy. And then definitely follow us, as I mentioned, on the Get Digital California campaign. We'll be starting to incorporate more of our local partners as well too. For the holiday shopping season, we want to make sure that we highlight some of our local businesses as well. But thank you so much. That was pretty much the gist of my presentation. I will definitely stay around for a few minutes to take any questions while I look up for that slide so you all could take a picture for the screenshot. Thank you, Sandra.
Thank you so much, Leticia, for today's presentation. A lot of great information, and the best part is that it's available. It's available digitally to our business owners, to our community members that want to support the small businesses during these times, and also a moment of pivoting the business and seeing, okay, what's the next step for my business in regards to continue finding a way to grow and contain that sustainability of economic growth for the business. With that being said, I invite all of our current attendees to please submit your questions for Leticia, and we will make sure to answer them as we go. So please send us your questions via the chat, and we will make sure to read them out loud for Leticia. I have one of our members here, Gil Molina, said thank you. So thank you for that, Gil. Anyone else has any questions or comments? Like I mentioned, you can locate the chat feature on your screen. So we have a question. It says, we have a comment here from Claire. It says, Fresno is lucky to have Leticia. How can we best address the digital divide for our small businesses?
Yes, thank you so much for that great question. I know that there's different initiatives in the state, especially around education with distant learning, and many corporate partners that are definitely looking into what resources, especially around hotspots. And we are definitely listening to those conversations. Unfortunately, our office is not leading those efforts, but I'd be happy to get back to you. That's, again, an excellent question that we are looking into it. And we could definitely circle back with a response if you leave me your email around how can small businesses also access those resources. I know the Department of Education is really much on top of that and making sure that our young, and college students as well too, many that came from different universities back to the Valley, are able to access hotspots. So definitely, I'll make sure I'll circle back to that, but I know it's a big, huge problem here with many of our communities that don't have broadband.
Thank you so much. And we have a question here in Spanish, and it says, Buenos días, los recursos también son para un negocio que va iniciando, and that translates into good morning. Are the resources available also to a business that it's in the startup phase?
Yeah, sorry, I had to unmute there. Yes, could you please, it's a question for, yes. I can, do you want me to answer in Spanish or English? Either one I could.
You can answer in English and then it's being translated.
Okay, perfect. Yes, the resources are also depending, again, on what the resource is. I always just, tell folks to please reach out to our office, and we'd be happy to put them with their respective center, depending on which county and city they're living in. So yes, there's resources available, both in English and in Spanish. So that's, again, I want to reiterate that. And also making sure that there's resources for businesses that are starting up as well too, for resources for businesses that are ongoing. It just depends on the circumstances. So definitely please just reach out to our office, and we'd be happy to follow up with that individual business owner. And I found a slide So I just really wanted to put it here because I think someone mentioned about what is our contact information.
Yeah,
So definitely
let me go ahead and make you a co-host. That way we can, you just simply, so I'm going to make you host, and then you just simply select where it says share screen, and you are able to share this slide.
Yes, perfect.
And of course, I want to remind everyone that today's presentation is currently being recorded and being live streamed on our Facebook account, and we will make sure to send you a copy of today's recording along with the links that are provided in this presentation slide. So this is the moment to take a screenshot if you can.
Yes, definitely. I encourage, it's a lot of information as I went through a lot. And our office continues, as I mentioned, to just expand on resources. So definitely if it is, again, in English, but I'd be happy to forward the one in Spanish, as I did a presentation with Google last week in Espanol. So I'd be happy to send that one in Spanish as well to your office if that is of help or a resource. But as I mentioned, here's all our information. This is our website to our digital Get Digital California new e-commerce initiative, which is actually going to be running until December. And it'll be with different corporate partners. As I mentioned, last week we launched it with Google. And this week we'll be finishing up our free resources workshops. So please take advantage of it. And the one in Spanish that I co-hosted is already available in our website. So if you go directly to business.ca.gov/getdigitalcalifornia or just CA, it'll take you directly to the page where our recordings are. And actually it'll take you to the page where you could still register. And as I mentioned, this is the page to our blueprint for a safer economy. This is super critical as it's constantly being updated. As I mentioned, our state situation is very different depending on which county and city you live in. And so definitely please make sure that you follow those guidelines, and they're constantly being updated by the Department of Public Health. And then also here's our web page to Shop Safe, Shop Local. And this is very important. It's business.ca.gov/shop safe shop local. As I mentioned, there's still very much resources available to make sure that we continue to support our micro and small businesses. And then of course, those are all the links as well to our business centers. And I really would want to thank our business centers once again for all their support and encouragement that they do provide small businesses in various languages across the state. And without them, we could not do our work. And then here are just different, links to our pages. And again, just thank you to our partners as well too. And this is just kind of a glimpse of our page.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And just here, just two more quick, one question and one comment. So the question here is in regards to PPE supplies. Is Cal OSPA able to provide PPE supplies to the local division of labor office so that they may reopen?
Not
sure.
What do you mean? So they could reopen?
Yeah, maybe let me check here if the interviewer can re-ask the question differently. And then, or perhaps I can make him unmute. So give me 1 second here.
Okay, no problem. And we, just to reiterate, there was, and definitely if your office also wants to chime in on that, since you're one of our local partners, and please do so. As I mentioned with the PPP, the main resources that we're providing is gels to the small businesses. So, and free mask as well too. And I know that there's still gonna be a second round of services. So if your businesses were not reached, I encourage actually to reach the Fresno Area Hispanic Foundation if your office is within the 8 counties. And if you're calling in from a different county, a different region, like the Central Coast, Northern or Southern, please reach out to us and we could put you in touch with the right partners on that end.
We,
I don't know, Dora, if you wanted to add a little bit.
Well, yes, we have masks and hand sanitizers and face shields for small businesses. And we have been able to get, for example, some small businesses, they're not in Fresno, they are in Bakersfield or in Huron, we go all the way there to take these items for you. So if you are in need of hand sanitizer, mask, or face shields, please give us a phone call, because we are able to give you those items for your business. So, please contact us. I'm sure, at the end, we're going to have our phone number and information. You can contact us and we can provide you with those items.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right.
And that is thanks to the office of Governor Newsom and the emergency office, and of course the partnership that we have with Cal OSBA. And that is the reason why we have this item, so that we can, I know that this is our second shipment. We had one about 2 months ago, and we just got the new one. So we have all of those items for all of you, for small businesses. Thank you.
Thank you, Dora.
Hi, Porfirio. Do you want to ask your question?
Yes. Leticia, good morning, and thank you for having this meeting this morning, and we're happy to have you here in the Central Valley. Hopefully you can assist in some of the issues that some small and large businesses are having here in the Valley. One of them being in particular with the Department of Industrial Relations has a local office, which is called the Division of Labor Standards, which oversees the applications and the submissions for farm labor contractors in the state of California. Being one of the busiest offices in Fresno and Oakland, one of the biggest issues that we've had is that they are not taking any examinations since April, only issuing out extensions. And one of the biggest reasons is they can't do exams is because they don't have adequate PPE supplies. They don't have hand sanitizers, masks, face shields. There's no partitions in the computers, so that's why they cannot continue having exams. I even offered to take them some from the foundation to them, and they are not allowed to take any donations of any type from nonprofits or from the public. I have a lot of small business owners. These are people that work in the fields that now want the American dream to set up their business. So they want to become a farm labor contractor. They submit an application, they collect their fees, only to come to a standstill because there's no examinations being processed at this point. And with no further dates of even knowing when, there's a good possibility that these guys might have to even reapply again and pay another $800 to submit an application for a farm labor contractor's license. And one of the main reasons I was told was because they don't have adequate supplies like hand sanitizer, things like that. So I don't know if your office is able to assist and maybe just checking and see what else do they need. And if you guys can also maybe assist in having some kind of a date when they can continue to have these exams, because it is delaying the renewal process for agricultural, and it is delaying the ability for a small business, a person who wants to apply to start their own business from moving forward. And it's been several months of patience as well.
Yes, thank you so much, Porfirio, for that question. I'd be happy to look into it further with the right department, and that's outside of our department. If I'll send you my information here, and please do reach out, and I'd be happy once again to look into that and put you in touch with the right department to ensure that they get you the right answers. But meanwhile, please do take advantage of the PPP services. Unfortunately, I'm not sure for this case, but for other small businesses in your network, as this also is temporary. I don't know if I said that already, but it's coming to its end. So that's very important to just ensure that small businesses do get those free resources. But definitely I'll send you my email here, and please do stay in touch and we'll look further into that. But thank you so much. That's a really great question and very important for our region.
Thank you. And in the screen, you can see the phone number to the Fresno Area Hispanic Foundation. As mentioned, we have a new round provided on behalf of Cal OSPA and the Cal OES, and these are hand sanitizers, face shields, and procedural face masks for those businesses that did not receive any PPE on behalf of the foundation that was distributed in round one. This is a 30-day supply for your employees. This is important to protect the health and the safety of your employees. So please give us a call at 222-8705. That way we can coordinate how many employees you have and find the time best for you to pick these PPE items. And with that being said, I want to say thank you so much once again, Leticia. It's been a pleasure to connect with you. And the rest of the comments are just positive comments saying, for example, we have here Rich that submitted saying, we're very proud of the great partnerships we have in our region to serve small businesses and entrepreneurs, and wonderful presentation. Thank you so much for all that you're doing for the small business community. It benefits us all. Thank you. And I would now like to move on to introducing our guest speaker. We here at the foundation, we give an opportunity to community members that reach out to us that are running for our elected community offices. And so I want to welcome Jonathan to share with us just a few 2-minute remarks in regards to the.
All right. Well, good morning. And Sandra and Dora, thank you for helping coordinate this. I appreciate you guys giving me a couple minutes to share a little bit about myself and why I'm running. I will start out by saying that I've seen the phenomenal work that the Fresno Area Hispanic Foundation is doing in the community. And I think those small business grants that you guys are doing are phenomenal. And they're really serving a great purpose for a lot of small business owners that are suffering out there. So kudos to you guys and keep up the phenomenal work that you're doing. So I'll share with you a quick background, why I'm running, and some areas that I want to focus on. I got 2 minutes, so I'm going to try to condense everything. I was born in Seattle, Washington, moved to the Central Valley when I was about 5 years old, so I call myself a native of Fresno. And I grew up and went through Clovis Unified. I graduated from Clovis High in 2009, went on to Fresno State, and graduated from Fresno State in 2014. I went into the financial services in 2014, and I've been doing that ever since, primarily focused on investment and retirement planning. Being self-employed, I've been afforded the opportunity to have some flexibility in my schedule, and that's allowed me to be involved in different organizations and different nonprofits. One of the things that I realized is a lot of the effort and time that I spent through these civic organizations and nonprofits, all of the efforts were aimed at improving and helping children. So through a lot of conversations with family, mentors, and prayer, I came to the conclusion that one of the ways that I can have the most or biggest impact is through running for school board to invest in our kids, because I feel that will pay the biggest dividends in the future. So why I'm running right now, Clovis Unified is at a pivotal point in time. And the reason that I describe it as pivotal is because several of the board members who have been there for over 2 decades have recently left, are in the process of leaving, or will be leaving in the near future. And whoever steps into their seat needs to have a good understanding of the core values and the standards that has made Clovis Unified successful. I also feel that it's equally important that the community gets someone who can bring in a fresh and a unique perspective. And I think there's a couple different views or perspectives that I can bring in. One, I have 2 stepdaughters that are currently in the district that I'm helping raise. 2, I feel with my financial background that's going to be critical as the school district continues to expand and grow. And then 3, Clovis Unified is not the same school district that it was 15, 20, 30 years ago. Our demographics look a lot different. I come from a blended family. I was raised by a Hispanic mother. So I would like to think that I have a good understanding of what some of the challenges are that our students and families are facing. So some of the areas that I would like to focus on as a trustee of Clovis Unified is first, making sure that we're putting in appropriate efforts to help with the kids that may be slipping through the cracks. And when I say kids that may be slipping through the cracks, these are kids that have disabilities. These are kids that are low socioeconomic status. These are kids where English is their second language. And really looking at what are we doing as a school district to make sure that these kids have a fair and equitable opportunity to succeed. In addition to that, one of the areas I think is critical in education as we move forward is looking at career technical opportunities and vocational opportunities for students. College or enrolling in a four-year college is not the appropriate path for all students. And I think we do a good job at catering to students who transition into a four-year college or achieve athletically. But I think if we were also to promote vocational opportunities and career tech opportunities, that would be phenomenal for our students. One, I'm a firm believer that it would make them, giving them the ability to develop a skill or a trade would make them a productive member of the community in the future. And with the change in the labor market, I think, giving them or providing them the opportunity to be exposed to different trades or different abilities to learn different skills is pivotal. And then the last area that I would like to focus on as well is the mental well-being of students. Clovis Unified has certainly faced its struggles with suicide, with opioid usage, with drug problems. And I'm not saying that the school district needs to shoulder this problem 100%, but as an institution in the community where children and students spend the lion's share of their day, I think it's critical that we look at some creative ways in developing a consortium of partnerships with other, nonprofits, the community medical centers, the pharmacy school that we have in Clovis, the law school, and looking at ways that we can be creative in improving the mental well-being of our students. So those are the three areas that I wanted to focus on. Why I feel that I'm the best person for the seat that I'm running for is, as I mentioned, with my financial background, I think that's going to be critical moving forward. The school district has a bond on the ballot for November. It failed in March, and through my conversations with a lot of people, it doesn't look like it's going to pass again in November. And if that is the case, we're going to have to look at how do we make our dollars stretch. And that's what I do on a daily basis with my clients, with families, businesses, in comprehensive financial planning. In addition to that, I also have two stepdaughters that I'm helping raise in the school district. So I have a vested interest to make the school district better. So I see it from a parent's perspective, but I also see it from a student's perspective because I graduated in 2009. So I'd like to think that my understanding of what some of the concerns are from a student's perspective are not that far off. And then lastly, we're going to need a trustee that will continuously ask, are these the right decisions for our students? And that's something that I vow to do if elected to the school board for Clovis Unified. So that's all I wanted to share. I appreciate the time and the opportunity to share with you guys about myself and why I'm running. If you want to learn a little more, feel free to visit my website at www.holt.com. So
Thank you so much, Jonathan. Appreciate it.
thank you.
Thank you. And I would now like to introduce my team member, Yeri Olivares. She's our Chief Operating Officer at the Foundation, to introduce our members and some other announcements. Thank you, Yeri. Welcome, Yeri.
Thank you, Sandra. Good morning, everybody. It's such a pleasure to see all of you. Thank you so much for joining us today. Mr. Holt, thank you so much for being with us this morning. And Leticia, thank you so much for your presentation this morning. We are looking forward to working with you. We've already had some amazing conversations, and I think that, the governor couldn't appoint a better person to take care of this role. So with that, before we move over to our brief networking activity that we have with you this morning, we would like to thank our renewing members, which is the County of Fresno Department of Social Services, Chavez Web Designs LLC, thank you so much, Fresno State, Manchester Center, United Health Centers, and Opportunity Fund. Thank you so much for renewing your membership with us. We greatly appreciate your support, and we are thankful that you are still renewing your membership with us. So thank you very much to our renewing members. We will also like to take this opportunity to thank our new members as well. We have Fresno Area Telephone and PBX. Thank you so much for your membership. And Mr. Robert Laster, thank you. And also Jeff Singleton with State Farm. Thank you so much for your membership with us, our organization. And whether you are renewing your membership or a new member, or any of you out there, if there is anything that the Fresno Area Hispanic Foundation can do to help you, your business, or your organization, please contact us so that we can assist you in any way that we can. Thank you so much. We would also like to take this opportunity to remind you, save the date, our next Negociantes Unidos breakfast meeting virtually will take place on October the 28th. We have our keynote speaker, Mr. John Granero, who is the Dean of the College of Osteopathic Medicine for the California Health Sciences University. So please make sure to mark your calendars for October the 28th for our next Negociantes Unidos breakfast meeting. With that, we would like to invite you to participate in our brief networking session, which is for the next few minutes. We will be going into breakout sessions. Each participant will have the opportunity to introduce themselves, share a little bit about their business, their product, their services, or their organization, so that we can network with each other through Zoom here. And we also suggest that you please enable your video options so that we can see you as well if you're available.
And we're going to be putting 3 to 4 participants in the breakout room, and I'll be opening the breakout room now. So if you wish to continue, please, like Yeti mentioned, enable your video. That way we can use this as a networking opportunity for everyone. Thank you everyone that joined us to participate in this virtual networking session. I hope that you were able to make some new connections that will help you with the growth of your business. And with that being said, I want to remind you that our team is here to support you in any way that we can. Please, our contact number is 559-222-8705. You can connect with us via phone, email, or visit our website to find out what our next upcoming events will be. And you can also keep up to date with our daily activities by following us on our social media platforms. So we are on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and today's recording will be made available later today on YouTube. Thank you so much for your time, for joining us this morning, and I hope you and your loved ones are doing well and that you are all staying safe. Thank you.